Breaking Bad is one of the all-time best TV shows to ever exist. There's so many great lines and moments like,
I am not in danger, Skyler. I am the danger.
But you may not have noticed how many critical lessons about money show up again and again throughout the story. And you thought it was all about meth and violence. Well, yeah, there's a lot of that too.
This is not meth.
Breaking Bad actually teaches us the most important lessons about money and how it impacts our daily lives. The ridiculous cost of medical bills? Check. The pain and regret of missed career opportunities? Check. The extra utility cash has as a home insulator? Well, okay, not quite, but as amazing as Breaking Bad is as art, it's just as amazing at showing us what matters most when it comes to money. Here are the 4 critical lessons Breaking Bad teaches us about money.
Yeah, bitch!
Number 1, money is directly linked to your quality of life. Kanye famously said, having money isn't everything, not having it is. And when we first meet Walter White, that's exactly how he's living. A young scientist with a bright future and big dreams has somehow morphed into a high school chemistry teacher, barely making ends meet, and then learning he has cancer. And this is the point, when you're struggling with money, it's all you can think about. And when life throws you a curveball, which it always will, it just magnifies those issues and it stresses us out because our quality of life or our family's quality of life gets put at risk. The whole reason that Walter starts making meth is because he's worried that he's going to leave his family struggling financially. So something that he would have never even considered doing before all of a sudden becomes a viable option, because as bad as it is, it's not as bad to him as leaving his family struggling with money issues when he's gone. And that in itself says a lot, but I think the show does a great job of showing how healthcare and treatment options are different depending on how much a person can pay. When Walt's talking over his treatment options, opting to have surgery, or when Marie's trying to understand options for Hank, the message is clear. When you have money, you can pay for the best care, whether that's for cancer treatment or physical therapy or whatever. So that means the literal quality of your health and care is dependent on your insurance and money situation. So what price wouldn't any of us pay to make sure that our loved one's health was taken care of? That's the type of issue and situation that people have to struggle with every single day. But even if you're not dealing with health issues, having money is critical to your overall quality of life. Want to live in a neighborhood with good schools? You need money. Want to send your kid to college? You need money. Want to travel with your family somewhere nice? You need money. Of course, some people will argue that we don't need to do those things, and I get it. We can justify our lives any way that we want. But as a husband and as a father, those are things that I want to be able to do for my family. I feel like it's my responsibility to provide for them, and I take that seriously. And I think most other people do too.
A man provides for his family.
So yeah, when it comes to quality of life, money makes a huge difference. Number 2, but also money gives you options. In addition to quality of life, money gives you options. And I know those things kind of sound the same, but not quite. Let me show you what I mean. In the scene where Elliot offers Walt a job at Gray Matter, it's a perfect example of this.
You and I should work together again.
Elliot hears about Walt's medical issues from Skyler and wants to help. He's doing extremely well financially, and he's in a position where he can hire his old friend into a job at his own company. That'll help Walt make sure he has good pay and benefits while he deals with his cancer treatment. The ability to help people in need whenever you want is a privilege for people who have the money, time, and resources to do so.
For the man who has everything.
But that means that the opposite is also true. If we go back to that scene, let's think about the position that it puts Walt in. He's in a tough situation already with his health and his finances, and that lack of financial stability means that even though he technically has options to choose from, neither one is a very good one in his mind. He either has to take an offer that he views as charity and a hit on his own personal pride, or he continues to not have a solution for his money problems as he faces expensive cancer treatment. And look, sometimes you just have to do whatever you have to do in life, and that's okay. But when you're struggling financially, it means that you're ultimately at the mercy of someone else. And that's a place that I don't think any of us enjoy being in. And that dependency means that you have less freedom to be able to make the decisions that you want to make in your own life. And that same thing happened to Jesse over and over throughout the series, especially in the beginning. When his parents kicked him out of the house he was living in, he had no money and he struggled to find any place to go or anyone who was willing to help him. It pushes him to the brink and willing to break into the RV, trying to find any way possible to get back to stability again, even just for the night. And this is what happens in our lives when we have a money emergency that we're not prepared for. All of a sudden, we're willing to do whatever it takes to be able to get back to where we were before.
That offer's expired, Joe.
But look at what happens when Walt and Jesse start to make money. Need to buy a business to look legitimate? No problem. Need to buy a house your parents are trying to sell? No sweat. Need a new identity to escape from people that are trying to kill you? Got you. So not only does money improve the quality of your life, but it gives you freedom to make decisions based on what's best for you, not based on what someone else is willing to give you. It's hard to put a price on how much that type of freedom is worth, but it's a lot.
Tight, yeah.
Let's go deeper though. How exactly did a high school chemistry teacher go from struggling to make ends meet to being one of the most feared drug manufacturers with more money than he knew what to do with? It's simple. He found a job that he could be the absolute best at.
You're goddamn right.
Number 3, to make a lot of money, find something you can be the best at.
I'm the guy your boss brought here to show you how it's done.
When you're growing up, people tell you stuff like, oh, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. I mean, maybe, but only if what you love also pays you really well. For most people, the issue is that they're not getting paid well enough. And when your income is low, it doesn't matter how much you love what you do, struggling with money makes everything else suck. And this is the exact same situation that Walt's in at the beginning of Breaking Bad. Walt's a talented scientist, likely way overqualified for his job, but good at what he did, and he actually cared. But it didn't stop him from feeling uninspired every day and basically like a failure, even though he loved it. Walt might have started making meth because he wanted to make money for his family, but most of the events of the show aren't even driven by that decision. They're driven by the fact that he's the best at what he does. This causes conflict with other meth providers, causes the change in his financial situation and his home life, as well as a change in his own behavior and opinion of himself. He found something that he's the best at. People are willing to pay him handsomely for it, and it changed his life.
Yes, science.
And this is a great lesson for all of us in our careers and in our lives. I'm not saying we should YOLO into the drug trade, but there's something to be said for finding that thing that you're uniquely great at and going for it. It's easy to get caught up in doing what other people expect from us. We all do it. When I was growing up, the prevailing wisdom was to go to school and get a good job. And that's okay advice. It helped my wife and I transition from living paycheck to paycheck to ended up doing pretty well for ourselves. But after getting there, my goals were higher than that. So that's why I ended up leaving my well-paying good job and going out on my own, trying to find my own thing that I'm best at to see where it leads me. But wait, I know what you're thinking. It didn't work out to be all puppies and rainbows for Walt. So is having money even a good thing? And this brings me to the final lesson that Breaking Bad teaches us about money. It's not a guarantee.
You got me.
Number 4, money helps a lot, but it ultimately doesn't guarantee happiness. See, people always say money doesn't buy happiness, but it comes closer than you think. By being able to provide for your family, do things that you want, go and live wherever you want, whenever you want, those type of things go a long way to being happy on a day-to-day basis. I can tell you from my own experience, when I was unemployed with no savings, it was almost impossible to be happy. Then even after I got a job and we were still living paycheck to paycheck, I was so stressed about our money situation that it's all I thought about. But while it's hard to be happy without money, money itself doesn't guarantee that you'll be happy. It doesn't guarantee that you'll be loved or be in a healthy relationship. It doesn't guarantee that you'll get the professional respect that you want. And it doesn't guarantee that you'll have a loving, positive family life. And this becomes obvious in Breaking Bad when you see the transition of Walt's life from being a high school chemistry teacher with a loving family and a stable home life to a drug kingpin that nobody wants to be around but has more money and resources than he can use. He might have solved the initial problem of not having any money, but at what cost? It ultimately begs the question of, was it all actually worth it in the end?
How much is enough?
And this is where nuance matters. It shouldn't be an either or thing. Just because money doesn't guarantee our happiness doesn't mean that it's not an incredibly important thing that we should all work on. We want to be able to provide stability for our families, and it's a big part of doing so. But money alone won't guarantee that you'll have a good life. It's just one very important piece of the puzzle. Breaking Bad does a great job of not romanticizing money. It's funny because it's actually looked at as a burden multiple times within the show. This is a great reminder that money in itself isn't necessarily good or bad. It's just a tool that we need to operate and live our lives. What we decide to do with it and how we decide to live is ultimately up to us.
What are you waiting for your girlfriends? You better go. You better go.
For more videos about money and becoming financially independent, click on the videos on the end screen or subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Peace.